If you're looking for the pulse of Tampa Bay sports, Beckles and Recher is the #1 source. The new guard, raising up the bar. Intelligent sports talk in your own backyard. Ain't no competition, ask the fans why. Beckles and Recher got it by a landslide. Don't fret, microphone check, stand by. Yo, Fox, where they at? Who my 2 favorite guys? Here they go. 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 Here they go.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Beckles and Recher. We're here chilling at the Dignitary Cafe as we normally do on Wednesday afternoon.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. How you doing, brother? How's your week so far?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
I'm chilling, man.
Better than the Bucs.
Well, listen, the Bucs are losing people, but if you're losing people and winning and you can figure it out, like, listen, they're going to get some of these guys back, not all of them, but some of them. If you can figure out ways to win most while you're getting them back, we're going to be okay, but it's getting to a point now where it's an epidemic. Okay, that's like, I don't know how many guys we've lost to this point, but I remember last year we lost 0 offensive linemen. I think we've lost 6 already. That's unheard of. I don't know how they recover from this, especially against this team coming up.
Well, some good news is that Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin both at practice today, and it looks like Tristan Wirfs on the videos that I were watching, he was pretty spry on his feet. So,
well, I'm not worried much about Tristan. I think he could come back even at 80%. Chris Godwin is not the same thing, though. Receivers have to be almost 100% to get their narrow asses back out there.
And, well, here's the thing, too, is like receivers don't play every snap anyway.
Correct.
Right? So guys are going to be going in and out. You're hoping that your offensive line is going to be able to play the rest of the game, the entire game. So what would you do with this Buccaneers offensive line? Would you put Graham Barton now to right tackle? Would you put him back to center?
Whoa. You just can't keep doing that. You just can't keep doing that. Like
you can't put your center at left tackle either. They did it for 3 games.
They did it. Okay, so to pick your center and put it to left tackle, that's quite accomplishment. And then the next week to move him to right tackle, you're pushing. You're really pushing it, then, dog. I don't know because I was.
Well, you don't know. That's the scary thing.
Well, no, you know what's a scary thing? This is a scarier thing. You want to hear the scary part? I don't know none of the names. That's the scary part. I know Heck, who wasn't good enough to play in the beginning. Now he's a star.
But that's what I'm saying. Now he's a right tackle.
Starting.
Yes.
And then we have Barton, who's a center, starting left tackle.
Maybe right tackle. Bredesen, center, left guard, right guard.
Anywhere, somewhere in the middle.
And then Elijah Klein and Luke Haggard. Luke Haggard, do you know where they got Luke Haggard? Best Buy. He was on the Geek Squad.
Burlington Coat Factory.
They're more than gray coats. Luke Haggard. Well, that'd be a great trivia question. What was Luke Haggard's job before he was playing offensive line for the Bucs in week 3? He was working for Popeyes.
There's going to be some cats in Philadelphia that are salivating to come up in here.
Jordan
because first, that's what I'm saying. Those guys in the middle who are scary against
Jalen
the
Carter,
best.
yeah.
They're the best. They're scary against the best. Forget about a bunch of, and I don't want anybody to think I'm dogging out these offensive linemen because I have the utmost respect for them going in there and battling. But if we played against a defensive line of all backups and people out of position, we would go into the game like we finna kick their ass, okay? Right. So that's what Philadelphia is going to be doing. It's a mentality thing, and it's not like any of our line going to be out there talking shit. They're going to be out there trying to survive. Did you think any of our linemen were talking shit last week? Well, as they're holding people as they go by, you don't hold people that you're better than. So we got outmanned a lot last week. We won the game regardless. But if you think that this animal that's coming in here on Sunday looks anything like the Jets, you remember Quentin Williams, who was, induced how many holding calls and making so many, they're all like that.
Does it help, though? Does it help facing Quentin last week a little bit?
No.
No? Doesn't matter?
Nope, it doesn't. Because everybody's different. Mm-hmm. Like, you could think, like I could go against Reggie White one week, John Randall the next week, Eric Swan the next week, Leon Lett. They're all great, but they ain't got nothing to do with each other.
Right.
They're all completely different. Your boy from the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, you play against him, okay, but if you get your ass kicked by him, and then the next week you got to play against one of those mongers over there in Philadelphia, it's a whole different animal. And getting your ass kicked is getting your ass kicked. And when you put film out there of you getting your ass kicked, you know what it does? It gives the next guy all the confidence in the world that you can't block him. And that's the worst feeling in the world. Been there and done that.
So we spoke about this a little bit on Monday. I know you talked about this with the In the Trenches podcast too. Buccaneers 3-0 and they still don't have an identity.
I don't think
what would you say it is? What's the closest thing you would say it is?
I think defensively we play hard. I don't know if we play efficient. I think I see guys hustling. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're great. If we don't have great rushers. We don't have great cover guys. And I think we survive because I think they're smarter than it seems like this defense this year is smarter than it was last year.
Right.
Last year, it seemed like we were getting beat because guys were completely out of position. It doesn't seem like that early in this season. So I think we're a more intelligent defense because a lot of those guys are a year older. Offensively, I just don't see it. Our identity is figure out a way to get Bucky the ball and make him do something, but we haven't even really done that well enough yet.
Rashad's played some pretty good games.
I've always liked Rashad. I like what he's about. I don't
know where his shortcomings are. We know where his shortcomings are.
I don't know if he's a starting running back, but he might be the best backup running back in the league.
Well, I think the 1-2 tandem, the combination of the two guys,
I think it fits.
I don't know if I would change it.
I think it fits.
Right.
Really, because I mean, you could put another running back there that's more glorious and running off, but Rashad does some grimy stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what about Bucky, because a lot of people they evaluate players on their highlights. I never do. I watch everything. And there's sometimes I'm watching Bucky block and he can't block. I'm just telling everybody.
He's not big enough for
He's not big enough.
He tries. He tries.
Effort. But Tony Mayberry and myself were talking about Warwick Dunn. And Bucky reminds me of Warwick Dunn size-wise, but Warwick Dunn was a monster.
Yeah.
Like he figured it out. Bucky is so young and green that he hasn't figured it out yet.
That's why you need Rashad out there, especially on third down, especially in a game like this. This could be more of a Rashad White game against Philadelphia than Bucky Irving.
Well, this is the part that scares me.
But you need Bucky to move the ball.
Exactly. Bucky's a big play guy. I don't know if we could just sit and grind this Philadelphia defense. I don't know if we're built like that. So we're going to need some big plays. So I don't know if sit there and 4 yards. I don't think that's happening in Philadelphia. So that's more Bucky to me. But I think Rashad's going to solidify the protection. And I think you have to go into this game at 3-0. And if I'm in the organization, you know what the scariest thing right now is? Don't get our quarterback hurt,
That's what I said.
man.
That's the most important thing
Seriously,
this week.
don't do that. Don't get him beat up for the rest of the season, because even if we lose this game and it don't look great, I haven't seen the line yet, but I don't see the Bucs winning. Every time I say that, they figure out a way to fight. If you lose this game, we're still in fantastic position. As long as Baker's healthy, we'll still be all right.
That's the most important thing, is not to lose anybody else to injury this week, isn't it?
Especially Baker. Because we're at a point now where you can't tell me we can't lose anybody anymore. Because we always do. Mm-hmm. We lose the most important people. Okay, at the beginning of the year, we said Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, all right?
Tristan
Wirfs, Kalijah Kancey. You know what that's a list of? Our best players from top to bottom. We're going to lose those guys in the first 3 weeks, and we're still going to be 3-0? I would say not a damn chance.
Is it bad that the identity has something with the quarterback? Because I feel like in other times you want to establish the running game and establish battle in the trenches, but I think you could argue that part of the identity of the team does come from Baker Mayfield and the way that he plays.
If you watched my In the Trenches on Monday, I literally said the offensive identity is Baker Mayfield and his tenacity. And that's it. That's all it is. Because I asked you the question, and I'm going to ask you, Jay. Is our offensive line consistently playing well this year?
Hell no.
Who's our tight end? Okay, good question.
Otten. Blocking.
Now, has he caught a ball this year? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I don't know if you could blame him.
No, okay, but we still don't have a tight end. Nobody else is catching it.
Yeah.
With nobody. I haven't heard a tight end name all year. Has our receivers played consistent this year?
Buca.
But I said consistent now. Buca's making big plays. He disappears for a big part of the game. Mm-hmm. When I'm talking about NFL greatness, I'm talking about 8 catches, always, that guy. He's not that. He may turn into that guy. But if you ask me right now if our receiver core is playing, consistent, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. But we're 3-0. We're moving the football. Okay. So to me, it falls all on Baker Mayfield. When it breaks down, it's Baker. And I'm not that guy to just gas people up, because I hear people gassing, and I get it. He's MVP and that. If you're watching football, you take Baker off this offense. We may be 0-3. You take Baker off this offense, we're 0-3.
Definitely. You won game late game drives every time.
So that's what MVP means to me. So, I was the one questioning him on the way in, and I'm on the one right now watching him and saying, thank God we have him. That's it.
Isn't that crazy?
Things change, brother.
So what do they have to do then to beat the Eagles? I think, here's the thing. I think the Eagles get in these funny situations. We saw it in the game against Dallas, where in the second half of the game, they just lose their identity. They didn't even throw the ball to A.J. Brown until the fourth quarter of that game. He had, one target. They get funny with their offense. They are quick to lose their identity for a team that loves to run the football, and the Bucs have beat them 3 of the last 4 times back. So I feel like it could come down to turnovers, like winning the turnover battle. I think you might have to lean on your defense and your punting and the field position game. I don't know if this is going to be a Picasso. I think this could be a low-scoring game. If the Bucs play smart, don't turn the football over, I think they'll be in there at the end, but they're going to have to probably come away with a turnover or 2.
Well, you said almost what I was going to say, but here's the thing. You said if the Bucs don't turn over the ball, boy, it's hard not to turn over the ball when you're having problems up front.
Yeah.
Okay, that happens. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this, if the Bucs don't run the football well, they are going to turn the ball over against Philadelphia. They just are. Because Baker's going to be
He's going to force it.
Absolutely. You got to make some things happen. You're going to run a little bit, this, that, throw, and guys' arms get hit. Philadelphia has a bunch of playmakers back there. And what's the scariest part is the guys they have up front, okay? So when I'm watching our offensive line and some of the holding calls that we got last week and some of the infractions, sometimes I go, you don't have to call that one. I didn't say it one time last week. There was guys just getting run by and run over and run through.
And they grabbed on.
And they're just
grabbed on for a ride.
And some of it, they weren't even holding. They just got beat so bad that it looked bad, okay? So that's not a great look going into this Philadelphia game, because if I ask you who has the best defensive front, Philadelphia's top 5. And if I had who has the best 2 interior guys, I don't know if anybody can mess with Philadelphia.
So I think that goes into the rationale of you want to get Graham Barton and Bredesen back together, right? Center, left side.
I would rather Barton in the middle, okay? Yeah. But 2 weak tackles? 2 weak tackles.
Well, I mean, you have Tristan back. I think Tristan will be back.
No.
I think Tristan's coming back.
If Tristan comes back.
I think Tristan's back.
Put Barton back at center, dog. We need him this week bad.
So you would, Barton, Bredesen, Tristan were
correct.
Klein or whoever, Klein or Feeney at right center.
Whatever on the other side.
So what do you do then as an offense? When you do that, are you running that way the entire time? Do you run behind the weaker guys?
Never do that. They sniffed it out.
That's what I'm saying. So how do you figure that out offensively?
Well, the thing is, once you're in there, you're in there. Okay, I've never really seen a game plan where, like, which is a strong side of an offensive line normally, but I've never seen a one-sided game plan. You have to go. There's times in the game where you start running left and it's working, but if you continuously run left, it ain't going to be long before the other side goes to running left. They keep on running left, and then they start slanting that way, and then it's to their advantage. So football is it's complicated, and you just can't go into any game thinking we're going to do this. You can't do that. You have to think we're going to try to do this. If and then we don't, we're going to do this. You see what I'm saying? But you can say we're going to try to run right, but the first play you may lose 3 yards, and then you go like this with the whole game plan, and then you're in trouble. So game plans are tough, man, because you never know. Like I've seen game plans that look great. You get into the game, I'm like, what's going on? They're like, so-and-so's kicking the crap out of so-and-so. It could be one guy dominating one guy, and he's disrupting the whole game. They say Myles Garrett's disrupting games. I'm not watching a Cleveland game, but they say he's completely disrupting games. Certain guys can do that on a defensive line. We need more of that. And that's what I'm asking for Vita Vea. And let me sidetrack a little bit. Vita Vea, to me, I like him as a football player, and I wouldn't trade him for many players. I wouldn't. But I'm ready for him to take the next step, okay? Because he makes plays in there, but when has he taken over a game? I have not heard his name in 2 weeks. I haven't heard his name one time in 2 weeks. So that's not good enough to me. I think he's a foot problem. I know how that can be tough, but when it's Sunday and you're Vita Vea, you're in there in the middle, I got to hear your name more, brother. I have to.
Somebody's been hanging out with Warren Sapp.
Well, you know what's funny? That didn't come. I did hang out with Warren last. Nope, not one time.
Wow.
Not one time. You know what's funny? I was going to ask him about Desmond Watson, who the Bucs just re-signed, and I said Deshaun Watson, and I wasn't even thinking because we were doing funny stuff. And he explained, he talked about Deshaun Watson, and I go, that was a funny answer, and I realized what I did afterwards,
Right.
and I didn't get back to him. And then ironically, the Bucs re-signed him this week on the practice squad. What, can you explain that to me?
He lost weight. That's what that says.
Okay.
He's not playing this week, Todd Bowles said today.
See, okay. I'm sitting here listening to everybody talking about he's not going to play this week.
You brought it up.
Okay, no, it's true. But I want everybody to think of something. He just went through a month and a half training camp and didn't go to one rep. You think they're not going to have him do a rep and then have him come back and then play?
And play the Eagles?
You know what? Do you know what his scouting report was? He played high. What the hell does that have to do with stopping the tush push? You think that guy's going to be one...
You never played high before?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't start smoking until I was 35, but thank you for asking.
Oh, my God. What a loser.
Thank you for asking.
What a loser.
You know what I mean? He plays high. He ain't the guy. Those big fat guys like that ain't the guy. It's the guys that are going down low, and that's how you're going to stop the tush push. Not a big fat guy that's going to get rooted out of there.
You know, it's pretty funny. Like, people are saying, oh, they need him to stop the tush push. Don't the Bucs stop it better than anybody?
That's what I'm saying. And listen, you can't go into a season thinking that you're going to stop the tush push. You just don't. You better go into the season thinking I'm going to keep these guys out of 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. You're not going to stop the tush push. You ain't going to stop it. And I have no problem with it, by the way.
Let me ask you this, too. When you look at the hierarchy of the NFC, and I think you look at the Bucs and the Eagles as two of the better teams, I thought the Lions would be going a little bit backwards with their center retiring late, losing both their coordinators. I think that was one of the biggest statement wins of the entire season so far. Monday night in Baltimore. Not just that they beat them, Beck, but how they beat them. They were more physical than the Ravens. How many times have we said that in the last 20 years? I don't care if it's John Harbaugh or Brian Billick. You don't hear that very often. I feel like the Lions, they kind of knocked on the door and said, oh, everybody's talking about Philly and the Bucs and the Packers. Don't forget about us, too.
Well, I'm not shocked because I've always been a fan of Campbell and the way he coaches and the way his teams play. And that's why I always think Detroit's going to be in it. Because they're physical and they play hard. They run the football, smash mouth. Don't care what you think. We're going to run on them 1st and 2nd down, over and over, in your face. Big players making big plays. And Detroit's going to be in the end. Listen, our Buccaneers are 3-0. But having to watch 3 games, I'm still skeptical. I'm going to let everybody. I'm still skeptical of what this football team is at this moment. Because once again, it's that identity thing. Obviously, these injuries as well. But eventually, you have to hit a switch and become something. Okay, you have to become something. You never go through the whole season not becoming something. By mid-season, you have to go. So even when the Buccaneers went to the Super Bowl with Brady last time, right? About 6 games into the season, we're like, what are we? We're like, we don't know. Mm-hmm. By the 9th week, what are we? We had answers. In order to become a championship team, what do we do well? There's got to be answers. And I don't think there's answers yet. And if you don't get answers, you'll start losing games.
You got to watch out because you're playing the Lions here in a couple weeks, too. So you win the game.
The middle of the schedule is a monster, and the last 6 games are easy. But the middle of that schedule.
But I think it's just I think there's a little bit of a respite. There's a 2-game. You look at it, Eagles, then you go to Seattle to take on the Seahawks.
That's a tough game.
It's a tough game.
In Seattle.
Home against the 49ers, I feel a lot better. They're 3-0. They're 3-0.
The 49ers have good football players anywhere still. They still do. They still do.
Yeah, but their competition that they played has been some of the
understandable.
Weakest, you could say that about the Bucs too.
Yes,
they find a way to
exactly
win, right. Then travel to Detroit, travel to New Orleans.
Which is okay. New Orleans aren't good, but I don't give a crap.
Division game on the road's never
always
easy.
A tough one, brother.
Then you home to the Patriots. Then
that's not a gimme.
Then you travel to Buffalo.
Yikes.
To the Rams.
Yikes.
And then that's when it starts,
the last 6 is
home against the Cardinals. They're 2-1.
They're not terrible. I still don't scare. By the end of the season,
don't scare me, though.
But no.
They're 7.
By the end of the season, I don't think there'll be anything.
No. Saints, Falcons back-to-back at home, to Carolina, to Miami, and then home to Carolina.
Miami, they probably have a different coach by then.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
Might have a different quarterback.
No doubt. If he makes it then, I don't
think he will either.
I don't think so. Somebody's going to change there.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be either the GM.
Them or the Giants, right? Who goes first?
I think Miami makes changes first.
Yeah.
Because the Giants don't look good, but it doesn't seem like it's mayhem.
I don't know.
The Dolphins seems like it's mayhem,
Yeah, but they
bro.
played Buffalo really well last week.
But dude,
One-
you played
on the
really
road
well
in
to
Buffalo.
be 0-3.
Yeah, so do the Giants.
And you know what's gonna happen when they get drubbed next week? Nothing's gonna matter. It don't matter. Playing tough and it don't work.
It'll
in
be
the
interesting to
NFL.
see what that Miami team looks like when the Buccaneers play them.
See, everybody was like, "Look at Russell. You should look at Russell."
Yo, they looked at him, right? Now he's done. It's Jaxson Dart show.
Yes, it is.
So what do you make of that whole thing? Like, you're 0-3, you bring in Russell Wilson, you have Jameis Winston. This is just, hey, I'm Brian Daboll, I'm trying to save my job here, right? Because if this doesn't work out, I mean, he may be done anyway at the end of the season, but
Correct.
what do you make of that move?
Well, I think you're right by saying he may be done at the end of the season. They
Mm-hmm.
may be making decisions around him. We don't know that. That's a possibility. I met him.
You met him?
I met him at the combine. Yeah.
Okay.
I was at the combine with I was by myself, but I was sitting at a breakfast with Martin Mayhew and John Lynch, and at that time they were both GMs of NFL teams.
Right.
So you'd be shocked who was coming up to our table.
Right.
Like Rich Eisen and all these guys like that. And Daboll walked by and he stopped and sat down with us. And really likable guy. Okay, like I find myself drawn to him, and I think. You have to think that he's a likable guy because he's still there.
Right.
Okay, because he 9-27 in the last 30-something games.
But who's counting?
Okay, but coaches these days get fired quick.
Right.
Okay, I know he had some success early, but after that, it's been poo-poo since then. So at this point now, they may be making decisions around him. But if I'm him, and I said this before last game, okay, say Russell Wilson plays okay for the last 15 games and you guys go 6-11 and you look all right, then what do? You come back next year and pay Russell Wilson money? You might as well put the young kid in there, lose a few games, figure out a way to win 4 out of the last 5 games, and then you can go, look what I'm developing. That's the only way he can save his job. That's the only way. Still might not.
Right.
Still might not. And that's not an easy thing to do, is go in there and win 4 out of 5 games with a rookie quarterback that doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I mean, I think, too, when you have a guy like Malik Neighbors and then you don't really utilize him at all against the Chiefs, which is just mind-boggling.
But you ain't got nothing else.
How does that happen, though, in the NFL?
You don't have nothing else.
No, but what I'm saying is that how does that happen in the NFL? Because it happens for every team.
Sure does.
Like, we've seen that happen with the Buccaneers where they don't get Mike Evans the ball, right? Not so much here in the last couple of years, but like in the Jameis years where, yeah, I mean, but he's a one-on-one mismatch. I mean, you see it with good teams. You see how the Eagles couldn't get A.J. Brown the ball in that first week win against the Dallas Cowboys. You see it with the Giants. Like, how does that happen? Like, we go from all of a sudden you just look at it and it's the third quarter and your best player doesn't have targets. How does that happen?
It's the same way it happens that Russell Wilson looks like he's a world beater. Well, he had to be NFC Player of the week before.
But they don't even look that way. That's my thing. It's one thing if a guy gets shut down, he's 0 for 3, but you don't even target the guy.
But here's the thing, though.
Do you lose your kind of your sensibility a
No,
little bit?
I think it's easy to say teams are or aren't doing things from watching it on television. If you sit down and film and watch it, sometimes you just see, like, Ian Beckles may grade out 95 one week, and the next week it's 60. It's matchups. Sometimes Mike Evans, McAllister matches up well against him. Sometimes he's just a guy that matches up well against him. Sometimes the other team says, this guy's not going to beat us. Mike Evans is not going to beat us. Bill Belichick is known for doing that. Okay, that guy's not going to beat us. We'll see if this guy's going to beat us, and then you got to go from there. So a lot of times when the guys aren't getting taught, because the quarterback wants to get Mike Evans the ball.
No, I
They
understand
want to
that.
get Neighbors the ball. The defense has to be doing something to make him think it doesn't make sense to go there, because I would throw Neighbors the ball every time if it's one-on-one. So it must be something the defense is doing.
But how do guys like Justin Jefferson always get the ball then, regardless? You don't think people are double teaming him?
He hasn't lately. He hasn't.
I mean, you look at the quarterback. Obviously, the quarterback hasn't been great.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm talking about guys that have decent offenses, guys that have shown that they can get the football. I mean, man, I feel like it's on the play caller, man. There's got to be a way to get these people the ball. You're talking about stacking double coverage. Nobody got covered more than Megatron, and he still got his numbers with Matthew Stafford. Why? Because they found a way to get him a ball. Listen, you have 2 guys covering you. You can't start a guy, get him on an end around, get him on a sweep, get him involved in the running game, throw a couple of screens to him. Like, I don't quite understand how there's nothing in your bag of tricks. We don't ever say that about Cooper Kupp. We don't ever say that about Puka Nacua. Because Sean McVay always finds a way to get him the ball. We never really said that about Deebo Samuel. We never said that about any of the guys in San Francisco because Shanahan always. We never said that about Julio Jones. They always found a way to get those guys the ball.
All those guys that you mentioned have a lot of talent around them. Almost all of them. You just can't lock in on them. You can't. If Mike Evans is...
there was a precipitous drop-off from Julio Jones to every other receiver that he played with.
Okay. And the exceptions that you said, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, are the best that ever played. Those guys can catch balls and double team. I don't think Neighbors is that guy yet. He may turn into that guy. He's not that guy yet. And guys like Cooper Kupp and those guys are just different birds. You know what I mean?
But something has to do with play calling, though, right? They have to wear some of that, too.
It has to do with play calling. It has a lot to do with your quarterback's recognition.
Yeah.
You could call play calls all day.
But I just find it very hard to believe that you could throw for 400 yards one week, and you can't even throw the ball in the general direction.
I
know, but what I'm saying, Beck, I'm not trying to look for similar production.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a similar attitude, a similar attack mentality of like, hey, go this way.
You're the best, Tom.
Go this way. Who texts them? Who do you think? Who's your boy? Who's your boy?
Appreciate you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you play golf?
Huh?
You play golf?
Here and there.
Well, I used to play golf. I don't play golf anymore. I can go out and shoot. I can shoot 82 one day and go out there and shoot 100 the next day.
But that's production, Beck. That's what I'm saying.
It's the same
but
thing.
You're going to
it's
go
the
out.
same thing.
No, but what I'm saying is that you are still going to have the same mentality. I'm going to go for the green every single time. Make it or miss it. The production's differently. I understand that happens.
Is different, dude. You just can't say I'm going to get it to Malik Neighbors because it'll be eight interceptions. You can't do that.
You're not doing anything else anyway.
No,
that's the point. It'd be one thing if there was somebody else that wasn't doing the job, or you had other guys, or you were being productive. My thing is, you go through a whole first half of football. You're not moving the football, and you're not throwing it to your best player. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
But you know what you're still not going to do though? Is throw a bunch of interceptions because you know what?
Sucks anyway.
Oh, I understand that.
I think it's just a loser mentality.
Well,
I understand what you're saying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I feel like when you do that, you're admitting that you're not as talented and not as smart as the other team.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, we're both saying the same thing.
Absolutely. Because there's some quarterbacks go out there, they gonna sling it. Not Russell Wilson. It's not him.
But it's hard to think that when you just threw for 400 yards.
Because
regardless of what the defense is,
he's a front runner.
You went for it.
He's a front runner.
He went for those passes. Yeah. You got to try him. You always talk about mentality, right? And especially in the running game. I feel like you have to have a mentality in every facet of your offense.
Sure.
We're going for it on fourth down. We're going to throw to our best player. We're going to impose our will on you, whether it's offensively running the football or throwing the football. And then you get too many times where it's just like these guys disappear. I don't understand.
But Jay, you have to understand. Okay, I have to defend Russell Wilson on this one. I have to defend him.
That's weird.
This is why. Because I don't like the way he plays. But think of his upbringing. That's not the way he was brought up. He was brought up with great running games, great defenses. You know who you should, if you want to just slang it, put Jameis in there because Jameis will throw 6 picks and 8 touchdowns.
How much is that on the quarterback and how much is that on the offensive play caller then? Because there are times where the offensive play caller can make life easier for the quarterback. I'm not putting it all on Russell Wilson. I'm putting it just as much on Kafka. I mean, look at what he did on 4th and goal. You saw that 4th and goal sequence?
But this is the thing, though.
You threw 3 uncompetitive passes. You can't win football like that,
Okay,
man.
but listen to this, though, Jay. He threw 3 uncompetitive passes. But was there all competitive routes? Was anybody open?
That's what I'm saying. It's not all. I'm not putting it on him. I'm not putting it all on him.
Every play works. Like every play works.
Does it?
Yes. Every play can work.
Then why are some offensive coordinators better than others?
Because a lot of them is their offensive line's not good enough, their quarterback's not smart enough, their receivers can't get separation. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, but there's good offensive coordinators that do well with lesser talent.
Yes, you're right. But
so then the scheme helps
to a certain extent, though.
Exactly, but then the other side's got to be true then too.
Well, once again, I'm coaching at Chamberlain. Okay,
doing a great job. I hear
we won 3-0. We beat 3 teams we were better than. Then we ran into a team that I thought we were the equivalent to, and we lost 36-0.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Were they 36 points better than us? Probably not. Now, their kids cared more, clearly. Okay? Because their kids show up to practice. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Like, I got kids showing up. I have a kid game day, slit his finger with his razor blade. Now he can't play. My starting right guard. I mean, it's...
What?
Yeah, game day. I found out my starting right guard, probably my best lineman or second best lineman, slit his finger on with a razor blade. He said he was opening his car door and somebody put it in his car door. I don't even know if that's possible. How do you put a razor blade in the car door? How's that possible?
And he didn't play.
No, he didn't play. But he supposedly slit his finger and he got, stitches and whatever. I'm playing. But anyways. So that's what we got to do. It's if you take a quarterback and you take 4 different quarterbacks in 4 different situations with the same routes, the 4 different quarterbacks may throw to 4 different people. You see what I'm saying?
But it doesn't mean it's going to be successful.
No, I understand that. So a lot of the success of these offensive coordinators, I've never heard of a great offensive coordinator that didn't have great quarterbacks. You see what I'm saying? And almost vice versa. So it's got to be a lot in there because coaching at times is overrated, dude. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but I think when you look about the play caller and the quarterback and how important that is, we've seen guys go to a different play caller and just absolutely shit the bed.
Yep.
Then you see guys like Kevin O'Connell. How does Kevin O'Connell go from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy and now to Carson Wentz and put up all those points? Like, the play caller's got to be something.
No, absolutely,
right?
Jay.
But what I'm saying is then the opposite has to be true too, Beck. If you're running, and I watch those play calls back, and I watch people break them down, and they're running the same freaking routes, and it'll just look like elementary stuff. They knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like the defense had a Spagnuolo's light years above of a guy like Mike Kafka.
Sure.
So I'm definitely not putting it all on the quarterback. But my God, for you to be a professional play caller and to have 3 passes where your veteran, future Hall of Fame quarterback can't even throw a competitive.
The play call didn't throw the football. There was probably 3 or 4 routes out there that were great routes. You could,
but they weren't, Beck. I looked at it. I watched
because
it. None of those guys were
because
open.
they didn't run good routes though.
But Beck,
what if you had Jerry Rice and Taylor?
But you don't. But you don't. You have to. That's part of it.
Well, okay,
but is it more that or more the play call?
So then you can't blame the offensive coordinator if you don't have good route runners and then don't have a good quarterback and you don't have a good offensive line.
But you're gonna have
just
good.
Not good.
No, but if you're gonna have, you can have maybe not below average, but you can have more average players being put in better positions by an offensive coordinator.
But only to a certain extent, though. Only to a certain extent. Because,
right, but if you can visibly see 4 guys running the same exact route.
Boy, on the 5-yard line is a tough place to evaluate.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but then you don't call that play. How come other teams are so dynamic in the red zone? The Giants suck every single year in the red zone. Something's got to be similar to that. You have Malik Neighbors. You got Wan'Dale Robinson, who had 200 yards last week. It's not like you have the little sisters of the poor.
Who was the last guy that they had is like Mike Evans? Because once again, coaching is great, but when you throw the ball up in the air and Mike Evans catches the ball with one hand, that's not coaching.
Yeah, but you have talent there. It's not like there's a lot of teams that do a lot more offensively with less than what the Giants have out there.
I don't see a lot when I watch the Giants, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Malik Neighbors is a good player.
Okay,
Wan'Dale Robinson. You just had an example last week against the Cowboys. Regardless of what their defense was like, those guys were able to produce in the National Football League game.
I watch them a lot, and I just never understand what they're even trying to get accomplished.
So who does that come from? When you're trying to accomplish something, does that come from the game plan or the players executing it?
Both.
There you go.
It's
I think
both.
we'll agree.
No
right
doubt.
there.
There you go.
Finally, Tom Brady in the booth. You got any issues with this?
Any issues?
Yes. Because people are saying that they think that he has a competitive advantage because he gets to watch these people. You watch teams play, and then he's able to go back to the Raiders, and he had the headset on in the game against the Chargers a couple weeks ago. So people are saying that's not fair. A guy that's a partial owner of the team that is directly involved with the game plan of the Raiders, maybe not directly, but has a hand in it, he's getting inside information, or he's getting an opportunity to be able to almost advance scout some of these teams they're going to play.
So are you saying that Tom Brady's not doing it by the book? Is that what you're saying? He's not doing it by the book? Anyways, why would anybody be shocked that Tom Brady's not doing anything by the book? Okay, you know who I am? You know what guy I am, all right? I'm the kind of guy where if you get caught with something, stop bitching, okay? That's me, okay? Deflategate, you know what I don't want to hear? It's not a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, it wouldn't be a rule. And you knew you were doing it blatantly and maliciously. Therefore, you were fake. You were cheating. They were also recording other people's practices. That's cheating. And then people will say, well, everybody does it. Tony Dungy didn't do it. I promise you there. And if anybody doesn't think that Tom Brady interviewing other teams about their game plans doesn't benefit their team, well, then they don't know much about football. You don't think Tom Brady's smart enough to dupe people into asking some questions to get information?
Right.
He's pretty smart now. So if you're saying it's a big deal, does it turn into anything? The Raiders suck anyways, but it is a big deal. I mean, it's counterproductive to me. And I don't even know what Tom Brady is. I don't know if he's an executive or a front office.
Partial owner.
I don't know what he is. A partial owner, and he's on the number one broadcast team. It's a little much for me.
You okay, buddy?
I got hot sauce in my eye.
You got hot sauce in your eye?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Can we get a napkin, Ponzo? Somebody help him.
No, I'm good.
You're gonna turn into a real Buccaneer now, buddy.
I am a real Buccaneer.
So where are you laying some money this weekend?
On the Eagles. Why are you laughing?
Nah, I can't.
Okay.
Indiana playing this weekend?
Indiana, it's a good question.
Yeah, they're on the road.
They played the Mighty Illini last week, and that was a tight one.
Yeah, it's a tight one, all right.
Odds makers are off by 50 points.
You know where they go this week?
Where they go?
Iowa.
Iowa's always tough, but I'm not as scared with Indiana anymore because Indiana can put some points up, and I don't see Iowa scoring 30 points. I don't see it.
No?
Nah, I don't see it.
Indiana, man.
Indiana is real.
You struggling now?
Yeah, my eyes.
Let's wrap it up right here.
Wrap this shit. I got hot sauce in my eye.
Iowa. What the hell did you have when did you have hot sauce?
I was just, I just made a salmon a salad, and I was cooking.
I can't even look at you. I can't even look at you.
I made a salmon salad. I was cutting some jalapenos, and I didn't wash my hands. And I rubbed my eyes, and my eyes on fire. Okay, it's easing up.
The Buccaneers.
That joke is closing up.
This guy he took it so serious that he was a member of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That he wants to finish the final show just with one eye open.
Yeah, I'm crying.
Eye patch Beckles, they call him.
Yeah, man.
All right, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Come check us out here at the Dignitary Cafe. Cafe con leche. Kava Kratom. We got it all right here. Ian_Beckles on Instagram. Check out the In the Trenches podcast. We're live every Wednesday here at the Dignitary Cafe, and Ian joins me on my podcast every Monday at 12:30. You good, dog?
I'm good, bro. Let's rock and roll, man.
He's got to go. All right, we're going to get out of here because Ian's got to go get some eye wash.